Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this is another renovation update and things are getting pretty exciting, so if you want to see a little bit more then keep watching. So it's the end of what I think is week 17, so it started back on the 9th of March and that was the week before lockdown happened in the UK, and it is now the 5th of July, so it's nearly coming up to 4 months, which is crazy, but then so much has changed. I am gonna run you through like a diary style update in this video. So I've been filming like a few updates throughout the week and then I will end with where we are now. So much has changed, it's moved really quickly and it's been like messy and hectic and intense, but I will fill you in bit by bit. So here is entry number 1. So because I'm a loser, I'll come back out again so I can do a proper reveal. But would you look at that? I'll start over here and then I will show you everywhere else. So we don't have a kitchen anymore, as I'm sure you can see. It's so weird, like when I look at it on screen everything looks like they're like little tiny Lego things, but the space is ridiculous. So this is obviously where our kitchen used to be, so this is where the sink unit was and it followed along and then along the edge. And for the most part when the new kitchen is fitted we'll be following this design. However, because this kitchen was a second-hand kitchen, it was kind of forced into the space. So as you can see here where the dustpan and brush and the bin is, it never like fully fit. Like ideally you would have units all along here and everything, which is actually what we're having when we get the new kitchen done. So everything over here there'll be like floor to ceiling big like units and stuff, so lots of storage and it will come round again. But instead of having this return here, we're going to have a really long island going this way, which will have extra storage on and like the hub and stuff. But it's just crazy to look at it. Like, I don't know, it looks really big and then like really weird at the same time. I don't really know how to describe it. This used to be my sink. Oh god, I'm not really sure. Pipework coming from the boiler, going everywhere. But they had like one of those drill things to try and get through all of this to sort out. This is obviously a waste pipe. That's where the waste used to go from our washing machine, but our washing machine and the sink is being rerouted. So the sink is going over here and the washing machine is going over there, which brings me to like the rest of this space. So if you can see, but the island, I think the new island is going to probably roughly come around here, and then this space is where we're going to have a big dining table that we can have family and friends around finally. Yay! After years of like wanting to but never been able to fit them in. So we only had this small dining table because that's all we could fit in the space. That used to go there, and then the sofa used to be here and there used to be a window. So the telly is going to move and all of that, and this is going to be a dining area. And then here, sorry for sniffling, I've still got a hay fever, it's doing my head in. This is the new like extension bit, and we're going to use this as like we're going to get sofas and stuff and have the telly hooked up over here, and we're going to have loads of space to play, so like puzzles and like space for a Christmas tree when Christmas rolls around, that kind of thing. As you can see over here now, they have plasterboarded a lot more, so over here and over there. But this is what it looks like, and I don't know, I never thought it would feel this big. I'm not really sure how to explain it very well. We were a bit dumbstruck when we came in here. We had a look once they'd left and Mark was like, I don't even know what to say. The kids were like, wow, look at it, it's amazing. And I actually thought it was really sweet that they did think it was amazing because it's very messy. I'm just really excited to see it moving forward. It's so bright, like given that like it's obviously getting dark now, it's really gloomy. Like the natural light, at least in this part anyway, is really good, and we only have one light that works there, and I think it's only 1 or 2 lights out of those ones there that are actually working. So it's so much brighter than it ever used to be, especially when we were living in a cave and it just felt like, I don't know, sometimes it could be a little bit depressing because you didn't see any daylight when you're in here, and I really noticed the difference. But I mean, how worth it was that? So this is a huge change. Can't actually really imagine this getting past the point of looking like a Stig's dump, but I know we'll get there eventually. As always, we have a little cat guest. He followed me in here. Right, so in here, again, very dark. You're not really going to be able to see much, in all honesty. You can actually see much more on the screen than you can in real life because it's trying to up the exposure. But as you can tell, I'll show you with this bit here, it has all been skimmed. And I love it when it's skimmed because it feels like a bloody wall. So up here is now all filled in as well because there's a slight gap above this frame the last time that we looked. This is just here to keep things warm because obviously like not everything's finished at the moment, and so it's like insulation type stuff. So that has all been done, and that means that this room now is completely ready for skirting board. It's ready for like its internal door at one point, and you know, the utility. So it's like a blank canvas, so to speak, and I'm really pleased about that. You can see up there as well, there was a slight gap above this door, but now that's all filled in. And then in here, oh god, today's actually been a really busy day, but it's less eventful in terms of what you can see. But I've been in here a lot making decisions on various things, or just like going through stuff, which I'll run you through. I guess one noticeable change is that this wall is now plasterboarded. In fact, the whole area is now. I don't know if you can see everything. I'm trying to get it all in shot for you. So I'm guessing that tomorrow will be skimming in here. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I think that the idea is that they're going to get this area and that area finished, so they've already done there. Going to do in here and then get it all nice and clear, and then anything that's in here is going to be moved into this space so they can sort out this area, which is looking a bit like a whack-a-mole up in the ceiling, but I'll show you more on that in a second. So this was like the last bit of wall to be done, and then you can see where we've chosen to have like plug sockets and stuff. So this is the light that will turn on our outdoor light, so we're going to have one on this side outside and one on the other side over there, and then we've got a socket there, doubles there, and then a socket there, just because this is probably going to be like the entertainment wall with like a telly and that kind of thing. And every single person has said this to us that have had extensions before, so I'm going to pass that knowledge on to you. You can never have enough sockets, so always get loads. Then we have another light switch here, which is where you can operate the lights both in this area here, so like all up here and stuff, and then also in this area, so we don't have to like walk over to the door over there to turn them all off, if you know what I mean. The crater is, I mean, that's a lot bigger than what it was yesterday. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing here, in all honesty. I know that this is where all the waste went, so I don't know if they're blocking that off or something. I'm not really sure. But I'd never expected to see our floor look like this, so at some point this is going to need filling in again. You can see the existing foundations of the house here though, because obviously all of this bit is where our utility room, not utility room, our conservatory used to be. So this was all built on at one point, so you can see where it was originally. It's quite cool. Bit time-teamy again. There we go. And then yeah, so there's more holes and stuff, pipework there. And the only downside to today is that the boiler isn't working. It's a new boiler. It's only a few years old. It's a Worcester one. It's probably the one that most houses have these days when they get new ones, because it comes really well recommended. But because we did so much faffing today with electricity, I think it's like not woken up properly basically. So if you want to shower in our house at the moment, you've got to have a cold shower, which is not pleasant. But you know, it's just one of them. We're just not even fazed by it anymore. And it happens sometimes, and you just got to accept that sometimes stuff goes wrong, and that's just the way it is. It'll all go right in the end. So while I'm over here, let's talk lighting. That's what all of these holes are. I had a chat with our electrician several times today just about spotlight placement and pendant light placement. So that's what all those holes are. So all of the ones with wires coming out, that is where they are going to be. So we've got 1, 2, 3 pendant spotlights there, another spotlight at the very end, and then these two, the closest ones, so where that singular bulb is and this one here, they're going to be pendant lights. And then the same over here, these are all spotlights. So it's just like deciding how many we need for the space, and also like where's the best placement. Some people, as my electrician tells me, like they like to have them all evenly placed so they're symmetrical, but that doesn't always give the best light option. So we've gone for like whatever's brightest and fills the room the nicest. That's what we've gone with, and yeah, it should look good. Everything's sort of like being rerouted a bit as well, so you can see like here it's all been drilled through and stuff. And then the other decisions that we were finalising were radiators. So we used to have a radiator here along this wall when it came out, and it used to be like a window here and a radiator underneath it. However, we're going to go for the radiator on that back wall because it won't be used as it is now. And then we've also got a radiator going on this wall, and they will be ample for what we need in this room, just because we've got the kitchen and all the appliances in there, and they generate a bit of heat anyway. So yeah, it's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing it plastered, and just it gets tidier every day, if that makes sense. Like yesterday, I feel like it was really messy. I mean, it's still not like beautiful now, is it? Let's be honest, but you can see it coming together. We paid the final bit of money for our kitchen today, and that's definitely being delivered on Monday, so that's really exciting. But between now and then, there is a hell of a lot of stuff that needs doing for this to be like suitable for a kitchen to go in, if that makes sense. So that is where we are at the moment. And now that leads us to today. So as I mentioned at the start of this video, it's now the 5th of June and it is Sunday today, and work has been going on all week. Even yesterday, actually on Saturday, one of the guys was here doing a really big change actually, but I'm going to walk you around the downstairs bit first, and then I will show you that change at the end. So I'm going to turn you around one sec, and then we'll do the tour. So let's start with just a general like what's it looking like at the moment, because it is still, I don't know, you can, oh wow, look at our floor. There are dusty footprints everywhere at the moment. Like you come in here, you're going to get dusty footprints elsewhere in the house, and we've just like, you know, learnt to live with that really. And also our spray mop, I've mentioned that before in my update videos, it has been a lifesaver for quick and easy like cleanups when we need it. So this is where we're at here. So the dryer is still plugged in. We can actually use our washing machine now again, which is amazing, but more on that in a sec. Our fridge is still plugged in because obviously it's the only way that we can like keep food in the house at the moment. And yeah, this will be going, it's secondhand anyway, and it leaks and sometimes freezes stuff in the fridge, and it's just on its last legs. But for now, we are really grateful that we've got a standalone fridge, because that means we can still sort of use it, and we don't have to buy like a temporary one, like a cheap one or anything like that. So that's still there. And the biggest change, I guess, is that this has all been skimmed. So obviously the old kitchen came down and like damaged bits of the wall, as it does when it's been like fixed in, because we had 2 wall cupboards. And then we had like this stainless steel splashback. We've still got the oven here. I think it might be connected in an electrical perspective. But the gas has been like completely taken off, but I don't know if you can see. That's, I mean, that doesn't look great, does it? It's completely disgusting now because it's covered in like plaster dust and stuff. But again, this oven, I had to light it with matches because the ignition didn't work on most of them anymore. Some of them would keep clicking all the time, like they weren't safe even when they were on. So I'm really glad to see the back of that. This again was second hand, but it's lasted us really well. So this has all been skimmed. And then what we had to do, I'm going to take a step back for you. last time you'll remember that there were like holes all over the ceiling, and because our ceiling was slightly bowed, we decided to like upgrade it basically. So it's been plasterboarded and skimmed. So this side's been skimmed, but this side hasn't been skimmed yet, but it has been boarded up. So the holes underneath were just to make sure that we could get the electrics all in the right place, and Kieran, our electrician, taking all the measurements, so he knows exactly where to, you know, position things when they go in, if that makes sense. So that's all done and looks a lot better, because it was in a bit of a bad state. This side hasn't been done because this is where the kitchen's going. It's going to stay here still, just because it fit the way that we wanted to use this space. One thing that I'm really pleased about is that because we reused the conservatory foundations, this comes forward a bit more than the original boundary of the house does, and we have a cold water tap outside down this little, like, there's like a little like alleyway bit, and it just ends at the house, and there's a cold water tap. And we didn't want to like spend loads of money just to go out a tiny bit more, but what it will mean is that when the kitchen is installed, it's all going to be slightly, it's going to be quite flush really, which is going to be quite nice. So be like set back into the wall, but this should line up quite nicely. It might like go off a little bit, but that should look really cool. So that's been done. We did have an issue with some of our plumbing. So the old pipes that were here and ran underneath the conservatory had actually been done really badly by whoever did that job back when it was like somebody else's house, if you know what I mean. So they had to sort all of that out, and this has all been dug through, and things have been rerouted to work with the way we're having the space now. So it's all been filled in again, but you can see it is an absolute mess. There's just wires and cables and pipes everywhere. So this is obviously our boiler. We're keeping our boiler because it is new. That's all going to be boxed in and tidied up, and then there's going to be units along here, wall units mainly over this side, like big long ones, like fridge, larder cupboard, the ovens, that kind of thing. And then the island is going to be here. And yeah, so that's where that's up to, but it's looking really good. Most of in here now has been plasterboarded and skimmed, although some bits haven't, because they were prioritising getting the kitchen area done to, like, ready for tomorrow. But yeah, you can see it's looking really, really good. I love the colour of dry plaster. It's really beautiful. I really like it. I think we are probably going to just go like with white in here initially, and then when we've lived in the space and we like have ideas of what we might like to do with extra bits of colour, then we'll make those decisions as we live in the house, I guess. But it's looking really good. Through here we have a washing machine, which is exciting. It's plumbed in, however, there's no electricity in any of this bit yet. So we I borrowed one of the extension leads off the builders, and it's all trailing back over there so we can make it work, because my mum and my grandma have both been doing wash aids for us, which has been so kind of them. But I hate asking people for help. Like, I'm really bad at it, and I would rather just do things myself because I just feel so awkward. So it's really nice to have like this back up and running again, even if it is surrounded by like tools and plaster. But yeah, that's good. The door here was replaced. The one that used to be here had a scratch on it. It was something that happened like in transit, so they came and replaced that on Friday like afternoon. And now we also have, where are they, our doors. Now we went for unfinished doors because they are cheaper, we'll just do it ourselves. But these are the Genoa Oak Doors from Howden's, and we've actually decided to replace all of the downstairs doors, so they match. We've got like the new doors going in the new part of the extension upstairs, and we will save up and do the rest of the upstairs at a different time, but we decided to go for downstairs first just because like it's going to be more obvious, I think. This one is a big fire door, it's a little bit thicker than the rest, as you can probably see, and that one's going here. And yeah, it's looking really good in here. It's all like skimmed in here now, and it's pretty much dry, so I'm guessing it will be like electrics going in and stuff like that. I can hear next door's dog. So that is generally what it's looking like in here now. So this is what I meant about dusty footprints, because I have mopped in here so many times. In fact, the mop just stays in here now because we do it that often. There we go. But we can now access the extension, which is really exciting. So I'll take you up. I'll show you some pictures of what it looked like bit by bit, but basically this was not through. It was the dustiest I have ever seen our house. There was like thick black, like dark grey dust everywhere, piles and piles of it. And this carpet's been replaced, by the way, obviously. I mean, look at the state of it now. But the stairs have gone in, which is really exciting, and we can now go in here, which is really cool. So nothing's changed in here, but it's just strange to see it as part of a house. So this is like our new space now. It's like our bedroom, and it's starting to feel like more and more part of the house, like every time we come in it now, because we can come in it. But it's looking really good. So that is the end of this update. Sorry that this is kind of all I'm doing at the moment in terms of like videos and stuff, but I'm just finding it really difficult to film. It's so not easy, and it's been really dirty, and then we're so limited in like what space we've got in the house at the moment, so I'm sorry about that. Like my foodie videos have completely gone out the window at the moment because I can't even cook stuff properly anyway. But hopefully it'll be back to normal within the next few weeks. I think that like by the end of this week we should have like a kitchen fitted. Next week we should have the utility fitted, and then decorating starting, and then that same week I think we should hopefully have our worktop, fingers crossed, fitted as well, because that normally takes a week from templating until it's fitted, which is cool. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the week ahead. This week's been hard. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm only being honest. Like there are some bits of renovation that are like intense, and this has definitely been one of them. Like just the lack of space, like keeping the kids out of Mark's way, the builder's way, trying to get my own work done, the house being like covered in dust, but it is all worth it. And I can't wait to get to the fun part, you know, where you like decorate it all and style it all and do that kind of thing. I don't think I've missed anything. I have ordered our sofa now for the new space, because the one that we have got at the moment in the kitchen space, it's been leaked on and is now very dusty, and we're going to make do with it like for now, but we would like to replace it. And yeah, yay. Daisy loves this new bit, don't you? It's fun, isn't it? So yeah, we're gonna go now, but yeah, have a lovely rest of your day, whatever you're up to, and I will see you